Hi there, and welcome to this webinar, how to use Google Ads to get 10 to 20 new patients per month and grow the revenue of your practice. How would you like to get 10 to 20 new patients per month, every month with predictability? Now, not just any patients, we're talking about patients for the treatments that you actually want to be doing, for the procedures that you want to be doing, like implants, Invisalign, orthodontics, etc. I'm assuming that you do, because that is what I'm going to show you here today. Now, everyone knows Google. In fact, just the name itself has become a verb. So if you say to somebody, I'm going to Google it, everyone knows that means you're going to go and search for something in an internet search engine. In fact, it's also got its own text abbreviation. Let me Google that for you. But nobody says something like, let me Bing it, or I'm going to Yahoo it. So Google is the most successful search engine in the world. In fact, consumers make more than 160 billion searches per month on Google alone. And Google Ads is the advertising platform for Google. So in case you're not clear what this means, if you were searching for something in Google, the results at the very top, so like here, the results at the very top of the page that are in bold are the Google Ads, and they do work. And I'm going to show you how they work in this training. So on average, businesses earn £3 for every £1.60 they spend on Google Ads, and that's on average. Now, in the last year, and this is just for the dental sector, dentists wasted 68% of their search marketing spend. 92% of search terms and 68% of spend was a total waste. 94,808 of the 864 search terms generated zero inquiries at all. But yet, despite this, on average, businesses still earned £3 for every £1.60 they spent. So just imagine if you weren't wasting so much money, how much more you could be earning. And if you can be running ads efficiently, so you're maximizing your return on investment. And I use that word investment on purpose, because when you're spending money to make more money, it's an investment and it's not a cost. So let's get into the training and start by looking at what you're going to learn today. So in this training, you're going to learn why Google Ads are so powerful for dentists and clinics. We're going to look at the 3-step system to get you new patients now that you've reopened, and I know some people are reopening at the moment. And also how to avoid making the top 3 mistakes that will be killing your Google campaigns. So I don't want to talk too much around this, but I just want to let you know who we are and what we do. So we are delivering demand, medical marketing. We only work with medical professionals such as dentists, cosmetic surgeons, and clinics. We also do the digital marketing for DD and MedEffects. We do lead generation. So we help practices get more patients through things like Facebook ads and Google. And you might be surprised to learn that even in these last few months, while the whole world was battling COVID-19, we've still been getting around 2,200 leads per month for our dental clients. So your practice has been closed for a few months now. You probably recently reopened. And while your practice has been closed, you probably had some time to think and reflect about how you want things to be different now that you are reopening or about to reopen your practice. So the thing is, now is a really good time for you to be thinking about how you want things to be different when you do go back. So I just want to talk a little bit about Google, because obviously that's the whole basis of this training. So why are Google Ads so powerful for your business? The most successful business owners realize that in order to be successful, they need to be working on the business instead of in the business. And also, rather than thinking about your business generally, you really need to be building the systems that are going to help you generate more patients and more income for you. So Google Ads are a system that you can set up to be attracting patients for your services, leaving you free to what you do best, so treating those patients. So first of all, for those of you that don't know, I just want to talk to you about what Google Ads are. So to go into slightly more detail, Google Ads, as they're now called, they used to be called Google AdWords, is Google's advertising system, in which advertisers can bid on certain keywords in order for their clickable ads to appear in Google search results. Now, since advertisers have to pay for these clicks, so if you advertise and you pay for these clicks, this is how Google makes money. So you only pay when somebody clicks on your ad. And how much you pay depends on a few different things. It depends on what the service is, what the product is that's being promoted, the keywords that you're choosing, and also the level of competition in your area. So the question is, how much do you want to grow your business? Are you happy just plodding along, or are you ambitious and you want to really, really grow your business? So profitable, repeatable sales are the foundation of your business, and without them, your business will die. The grim reality is that 96% of all businesses fail within 10 years, with 80% failing within the first 2 years. And another reason why Google Ads are so powerful is because there's user intent there. So somebody is actively looking for your services, they're actually typing it in, as opposed to Facebook, where you're shoving your ad in front of people who have not asked to see it. So investing in advertising that attracts high value prospects and then converts that traffic into sales and patients is the most profitable investment that you can make. But yet, despite this reliable and lucrative return, many practices almost brag that they don't spend any money on advertising. It's almost like they wear that lack of investment in their own business as a badge of honor. And usually they don't advertise because they think of it as a cost or an expense, boasting that all of their business comes from word of mouth. Now, don't get me wrong, word of mouth is great. It's free and it comes with social proof that you're good at what you do. But you can't plan your growth just through word of mouth referrals, because it's passive, it's unreliable, you can't control it, you can't measure it, and you can't turn it up or down when you need to. Advertising is an investment that makes you more money than anything else, because when done properly, advertising can start to make you money straight away. Because let's say if you invest £1 that gives you back £2, £5, £10, £100, or even more back, why would you not want to do or invest as much money as you possibly can? And if you are serious about growing your business, but everything else you've tried before hasn't worked, then you need to make a change. And the great thing about Google Ads is you know whether they're working or not. So you know exactly how much it costs you to get a new lead. You know exactly how much it costs you to get a new patient. And you can't do this with things like newspaper articles or leaflets. And the other thing about Google Ads is you can turn them on and off like a tap. So let's say you've been running a campaign and you've got so many patients that you can't handle it. You can pause that campaign. Or if you've taken on a new treatment or a new procedure that you want to be promoting, you can quickly set up ads for that. So Google Ads work because they can connect you with people who are looking for your services. They are measurable, they're reliable, and they are a patient generating system that frees up your time. So now what we're going to do is take a look at the 3-step system to getting you new patients on demand. So step number 1 is reach. You need to be putting your business in front of as many people as possible, but not just anyone. You want to be putting your business in front of the people who are most interested in your services. Then step number 2 is retarget. So retargeting is one of the most powerful things that you can do. And if you've ever looked at something online, but you don't buy it, let's say you go to Amazon, and then you see that thing popping up everywhere, tempting you to buy it. This massively increases your conversions. And then finally, step number 3 is retain. You want to be retaining and booking in as many of these leads as possible. So the question is, do you want to be getting new patients like clockwork every single month for the procedures that you want to be doing? I'd imagine yes. So let's talk through each of the steps in a little bit more detail. So the first step is, like I said earlier, you want to be reaching as many people as possible. And there are lots of different ways to do this now. So you've got SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And for those of you that don't know what SEO is, it's how to increase the quality and quantity of traffic to your website without using advertising. and it essentially gets you higher up Google pages. And it's great, and you definitely want to be doing this alongside anything else that you do. However, the problems with SEO, there's a couple of problems. First of all, number one, it takes you a long time to build up any traction and get results. Usually we say about 6 to 12 months. And the other problem is, well, I say most people, but 70% of all Google searches are now done on a mobile phone. So what this means is the ads appear at the top, any organic traffic is generally under that, and they don't get shown on a mobile phone. Then you've got social media. Social media, again, is great for building up an audience and communicating with your customers. You want to be posting regular content on your social media. But again, this can take a long time to build up a large enough following to start getting any results from it. And although you might get the occasional new patient through posting on social media, it's not a reliable, measurable lead generation system. And you've got the traditional forms of advertising like newspaper ads, you've got leaflets, but you can't measure this. So it's difficult to know whether it's actually working for you or not. But the reality is none of these methods are as good at producing results as quickly as paid ads. In fact, when I have my clinic, I built my whole business from paid Google ads. And I know for a fact it wouldn't have been half as successful if I didn't take that chance. In fact, paid advertising is the fastest way to reach your ideal patient. And Google ads are probably one of the most powerful tools if you do it correctly, which I'm going to talk you through in just a minute. So at this moment in time, we are seeing the biggest shift since the Industrial Revolution. There are record numbers of people moving online that's causing a shift where the attention is. So this chart shows the average daily minutes of consumption per person for TV and for internet. And now we're starting to see more people move online, and it's actually starting to surpass TV. So the internet has now become the largest advertising channel that exists today. It's overtaken TV, it's overtaken print, and it's overtaken radio for the first time ever. Now, what does this mean for you? So the first rule in marketing your business is you want to go where your customers are. You want to be hanging out where they are. And today, that's online. So what we are seeing here is a big shift, probably the biggest shift the world's ever seen in terms of how consumers are now shopping. People are now moving from the old offline world into the new online world. And the reality is, if you are not keeping up and if you are not putting yourself online in front of potential patients, they will be going to your competitors. So now let's look at step number two. Step number two is retarget or remarket, as it's known as. So remarketing is a tactic that involves showing ads to people who have visited your website or clicked on your Google ad. This strategy is a particularly cost-effective way to increase your sales conversions because you're reaching out to customers who have already expressed an interest in your products or services. So here's how it works. So first of all, once somebody's seen your ad on Google or clicked on your website, we can then retarget them on Facebook and Instagram and other platforms to tempt them even further. And like I said, the reason why this works so well is because they've already had some interaction with your business, so you're not targeting them cold. And based on their previous interactions with your website, you can run retargeting ads that you know will tempt them. And with over 2 billion monthly active users, Facebook is a great place for any business that's looking to get noticed by their potential customers. And retargeting allows you to be staying front of mind with your potential patients. So a recent case study that we did, in fact, showed that we got 41% more leads at 20% of the cost. Also, remarketing ads are the lowest cost, highest yielding ads on the planet. So with a little extra budget for your social ads, you can almost double your conversions. And the great thing about this for you guys is only around 9% of businesses actually bother with retargeting ads. So this is really good if you can do this because it means that you'll be way ahead of your competition. And then finally, step number three is to retain, the third step in the process. Now, retain is so important, but this also comes down to you. So we can't be taking on clients that don't have somebody to answer the calls. Otherwise, this whole system will fall down. So did you know that it takes an average of 16 touch points before you actually get a patient in for a consultation? So this is for a cold lead, and maybe it's less for a referral. So if you're only calling that patient back once and they don't answer, then it's not going to work. And for those of you that have tried Google Ads before and felt that they didn't work, not following up with the lead might be one of the reasons why you weren't converting those leads into patients. But the thing is, you've spent time, money, and effort trying to get these patients to book in with you. So you really want to be converting as many as possible. So what happens when somebody clicks on your Google or Facebook ad? So just going to show you the process. First of all, they get taken to one of our proven landing pages where they can only do two things. So they can either call you or they can fill out a booking request that gets emailed to you directly. If they call you, then we've got a call tracking system in place, so we know that they have come as a result of that ad. And there's also a notification. So it's sometimes called a whisper, so that when your reception team hears, they can hear this little whisper that says it's come as a result of the Google ads. So the person on the phone knows, and it's also important for the person on the phone to be prepared so they know exactly what the offer is. The person answering the phone at your practice is so important. They represent your business and will essentially win you or lose you a potential patient. So it is really worth investing in them and training them properly. So if somebody's contacted you, they're most likely going to be also checking out your competitors at the same time. So you don't want to be missing out on these opportunities. Speed is the other thing that you need to be aware of. So if you have missed a call from a patient or you've received a booking request, then you need to be following up with them, ideally within 1 hour. So ideally you won't miss their calls and you can get them booked in for their consultation without having to call them back. But the reality is calls will be missed. So here's why that follow-up within the first hour is so important. You are 7 times more likely to make contact with a potential patient if you call them back within 1 hour of missing their phone call. And also if you want to be reducing the risk of no-shows, because the likelihood is if you get a no-show, they are usually a new patient and not an existing patient. So you can be taking a very small appointment holding fee that gets refunded when they actually come in for their appointment. So now we're going to take a look at the mistakes that people often make when they're running their campaigns and why people think that Google Ads don't work. And we'll also take a look at how we do things differently to make sure you are getting the best results for your money. So the first mistake is sending traffic to your website. So what most people do, and even agencies, some agencies do this as well, by the way, is when they're setting up your ad campaigns, they go to all the trouble of creating some amazing ads and then maybe with an amazing offer, and then they send all of that traffic to your website. Now, why is this bad? So think about what that person did before they got to your website. They typed in a very specific search inquiry. So it might be something like best implant dentist near me. Then your ad pops up and they read all about how great your implants are. And so then they click on your ad. All they care about is implants. They only want to know about implants. They click on your ad and then they arrive at your homepage. And what does everybody do when they click on a website? They start clicking around, they look at pictures, they look at before and after pictures, they might read a few bios, they might read a few blogs. Then they forgot what they were looking for in the first place and they leave without taking any action. So what do we do that's different? So we send traffic from ads to landing pages where they can only do one thing, and that is make an appointment with you. So we use proven and tested dental landing pages that massively increase the chances of somebody contacting you for an appointment. On average, across dozens and dozens of landing page split tests that we've done for dentists and clinics in the last 12 months, we have averaged 111% increase in conversions. So that means 111% more leads for you. So here's just an example of some of our split tests. So the client LP simply means the landing page that the client came on board with, quite often their website. Our LP, that column means that we built them one of our dental smart landing pages. And lastly, and most importantly, you want to take a look at the conversion rate column. So this is the improvement in conversion rate from the client's landing page or website when compared to using one of our smart dental landing pages. So which is why that we believe that the single most important thing when driving traffic to your business is landing pages. So I'm going to show you just a couple of case studies just to show you these examples. So using one of our clients as an example, when we started working with this client, he was converting prospects into leads at 2.75%. This is about normal, by the way. The average is about 3% when sending traffic to a website. After we installed our tried and tested dental landing page, he actually then got over an 8% conversion rate. And you might be thinking, yes, but who cares about conversion rates and why do they really matter? What do they even mean? So here's why it matters: the total annual revenue. So that's right, you can see just by keeping everything the same and just by adding our dental smart pages, we managed to increase by over £24,000. So we've got a similar story here with another one of our clients who was converting patients at just over 3%, but this increased to over 10% when using one of our landing pages. So their prices were slightly higher, but we were still able to boost their annual revenue by £118,000 by making that one change, changing nothing else. And here we've got a practice that was running a fairly high converting page already. So it was over 9% already, but we managed to double their conversion rate. So their increase in total annual revenue for them was in excess of £300,000. So all of this money would have been left on the table if we didn't introduce our Dental Smart landing pages. So you can see the difference that actually makes. So if we're running ads, let's say we're running ads for dental implants, then what we do is we send them to a dental implant page. So we only talk about dental implants. We don't talk about anything else. And on the landing page, we might have some before and after pictures. We might have some video testimonials. We might have a section about you. We might have some frequently asked questions. We don't talk about anything else because they're not interested. And then also they don't click away to see your testimonials or your before and after pictures because it's all part of the same page. So if you are already running a Google ad campaign, but you're not using Dental Smart landing pages, then you really need to be rethinking your advertising. Otherwise you will be wasting your hard-earned cash. So we move on to mistake number 2. What most people do is they try to promote all of their services. And I know people are ambitious and they want to be getting as many patients as possible for everything that they do. But this is a big mistake because you are diluting your budget too much. So instead, what we do is we only focus on one procedure. We want to find out what your most profitable procedure is and get as many patients in for that treatment. Once that campaign's working and you are making a good return on that investment, we can then start another campaign for another procedure and so on. Now, from all of the ad campaigns that we've run, we know that there's 4 top treatments or procedures that work really well with Google Ads that we'd recommend starting off with. And that's not to say that other treatments or procedures can't be promoted using Google Ads, but if you're a dentist and you're thinking about running Google Ads, then our recommendation is that you should start by promoting one of these 4 procedures. So these are the top 4 for dental businesses: Invisalign, orthodontics, emergency dental, or implants. So if you're a clinic, we know that these procedures work well. So things like CoolSculpting, Lipoderm, fillers, and microneedling. Basically anything that's not a prescription only. So you might be thinking, well, this all sounds great, but how do I know this will work for me? So before doing anything or starting any campaign, we do a thorough analysis of your goals, your competitors, what they're doing, how many people are searching for your services in your area. And from this, we can then give you a forecast as to what you might be able to expect from a campaign based on your objectives, the treatments that you want to be promoting, and also your budget. So I recently went into a practice actually to do this analysis. I'm going to break it down for you so you've got an idea.
So, like I said, the first thing that we want to do is work out how many people are searching for your services in your area, because there's no point in trying to get new patients if people aren't searching for your services. The next thing we do is we work out the 10 most popular keywords or key phrases that people are searching for. This is just for the purposes of the analysis. Because we understand the dental and aesthetic sectors, we have a very good understanding of the most popular keywords. So using our formula, and this is based on your budget, we can then work out exactly what your cost per click is likely to be, how many people would be visiting the website or dental landing page, how many leads we would expect to get, and also how much it costs you to get a lead. So this means that you can have an expectation about what a reasonable performance is, and you can then make a decision as to whether Google advertising is right for you. So I went to a practice in Derbyshire, and using this example, I actually broke it down so we can calculate what the return on investment would be. So I know that he wanted to get more implant patients and that he had a budget of £1,000 per month for this campaign. So for £1,000 per month, we know that we would get somewhere between 67 and 143 people actually clicking on that ad. We also know that 20 of them could potentially become leads, call the practice. So let's just say that 50% convert. Let's just say he gets 10 new patients. And I know that he charges £2,500 for one implant. So for 10 patients, he would make £25,000. So he's made £25,000 from spending £1,000 on ads, which is a 2,400% return on investment. So let's be a little bit more cautious, because you might think, well, I don't think I'd get 10 patients to convert. So let's be even more cautious, and let's just say he gets the same amount of leads, but he only gets 5 new patients that month for the same amount of ad spend of £1,000. Then he would still take £12,500 at a cost of £1,000, which is still an amazing return on investment of 1,150%. So let's just take it even a step further, and let's just say he only gets 2 implant patients that month from the campaign. That would still give him a positive return on investment of 400%. So you can still see that even just with 2 patients, it's still worth doing. So now I'm going to move on to the third mistake that people make. And that is they go to the trouble and they go to the effort of setting up all these campaigns, and then they just leave them. Now, the great thing about Google Ads, like I said before, is it is a system, but every system needs maintenance. It takes a lot of effort to create your campaign. So once they're up and running, it's easy to think they're not working, or they are working, and you either take them down or you just leave them be either way. And to be fair, you do need to pay close attention to your ad campaigns to make sure that it's running effectively and efficiently as possible. And this does take time. So this is a very common mistake, because I know that people don't have time to, especially if you're doing it yourself, you don't have time to maintain the ad campaigns, especially when you've got patients to be treating. So your ad campaigns will need some alterations during their lifespan. So some common examples of the things that you might have to do is you might realize that certain search terms are sending more traffic to your website, and you want to be adding those into your keyword list. You might want to be changing bids on ad groups. And also you might want to be adding in negative keywords if you see that they're not getting clicks or you're getting wasted ad spend. So we don't just leave your ads to run, which is one of the reasons that plenty of businesses outsource campaigns to experts like us, because failing to stay agile and keeping a close eye on the ads and make the changes when you need to will negatively impact your results and negatively impact your bottom line. And it's usually the businesses that don't monitor and optimize their ad campaigns that think Google ads don't work and they're a waste of money. And the other thing to mention is Google are constantly changing their algorithm. So it's important to keep up to date with these changes, which is what we have to do to make sure our clients are getting the best return from their ad spend. So what about COVID-19 and what about advertising right now? So I know there's still a lot of uncertainty around what you can do and what you can't do. So rather than worrying about what you can't do, it's important to focus on what you can do right now. So you may only be able to operate at 50% capacity. You may be having to space out patients. But even if you're only able to operate at 50% capacity, you still want to be making sure that you've got all those slots filled and they're filled with the right sort of patients. So you probably will lose some patients. Patients will be still worried about going out right now. They might want to put off going to the dentist. So now is not the time to stop your marketing. Now is the time you want to actually be upping your marketing efforts to retain existing patients and also be attracting new patients. So for example, if you can't be offering crowns or implants, then you can be promoting orthodontics or Invisalign. And if people are worried about coming into the practice, then you could offer them a virtual consultation, especially if you put that in your ad copy. It's also important to, in your communication, to let people know what extra measures that you've put in place. So like I said, now is not the time to stop your marketing. Now is the time to secure the future of your practice. I think a lot of practices are worrying that people won't return because they won't have the money, but they will. There's still a lot of people with a lot of money. There's been a lot of pent-up demand as well. So, and people may have had mortgage holidays, so they've not had mortgage payments to pay for a few months. They might not have been out and about shopping and spending money in restaurants or clothes shopping. They might have saved money because they might not be going on holiday this year. So like I said earlier, you know who we are. We are a medical marketing agency and we only run campaigns for medical professionals. We know which keywords work well. So if we find some keywords for a dentist or a clinic in another area, then we can introduce these into your campaigns as well. And we want to be attracting as many patients as we can for the services that you want to be doing. So we are an agency and we can help you with your Google Ad campaigns. We do everything for you, leaving you to do what you do best. And we only work with dentists and clinics, so we know which keywords work well, which ads work well, so essentially we've done the testing for you. Everything is measured, so you know exactly what your return on investment is. Also, there's no contracts and you can pause at any time. And we only work with one practice and one clinic per city, so you would need to check if your area is available. And we use our proven dental and aesthetic landing pages, and this is the key to your success. So what's included in the setup process? So we do everything for you. Like we will set up your Google Ads account if you've not got one already. We set up your Google Tag Manager. We set up your conversion tracking so we know whether it's working. We set up your call tracking. We fully test all the tracking. We do an onboarding call obviously with you, and we set up your reporting dashboard. We also build the account. So we do things like keyword research. We use tried and tested account structure. We write compelling ad copy. We also develop the landing page, and we'll also go through goal setting. So what you actually want to achieve from these campaigns. And as we've seen before, one of the biggest mistakes is just letting the campaigns run. So to manage the campaigns for you, we would provide the following support. So we have a 25-point weekly management checklist. We do daily account monitoring, we do bid optimizations, we do a negative keyword analysis, we do device and time of day optimizations, we split test ad copy, the call tracking is included, reporting dashboards, we do monthly reports, and obviously we do regular review calls. And also there's no sick leave, no national insurance contributions to worry about with us doing it either. And rather than trying to do this for yourself and wasting your ad budget and also your precious time, we can do it for you and start getting you patients straight away. So who is this for? This is for dental practices and clinics who are already in business and making money. You must also be good at what you do. It's for practices and clinics who sell high value treatments and do a broad range of ideally cosmetic procedures. It's for you if you want to grow your business in the fastest way possible. It's also for you if you want a consistent stream of qualified, ready to buy leads. And you must also be committed and ready to invest in your business. So who is this not for? This isn't for brand new practices or aesthetic practitioners just starting out. This is not for people and businesses who are broke. It's not for businesses who do not have somebody to answer the phone to leads. It's not for businesses who only offer, for example, toxin and fillers. And it's not for time wasters and people who are afraid to make a decision, take action and follow through. And it's not for somebody who is not serious about growing their business dramatically. So if you're thinking about doing Google Ads, then you've probably either never done them before, you might have tried to do them yourself, you might have got somebody in your team to do them, you might have hired somebody in-house to do them, or you might have used a cheap agency. And some of you might be looking at what we do and thinking, well, no thanks, I'll just hire a cheap agency, or I'll try them myself, or I'll get our practice manager to do them. So let's just take a look at what the impact will be on your business for each of those decisions and the risk that you're taking by not working with a specialist agency. So starting with doing them yourself. If you're the principal dentist or owner, then this is just an all-round bad idea. You might eventually develop the skills to run Google Ads, but who's looking after your patients, or who's looking after the rest of your business? Or you might ask one of your practice team or admin team to run the Google Ads for you. Again, there might be a chance that they eventually understand how to run them. However, they're not going to have the years of experience to optimize their campaigns when they are up and running. And also, who does their job whilst they're tweaking landing pages, optimizing the ad copy, updating the keywords, and generally running the ad campaigns? You could also hire your own person in-house, and this might be a good idea. However, what with the hiring and salary costs, you could be looking at spending somewhere between £3,000 and £4,000 a month just to have them sit in your building. And then also, because they're an employee, you'd have to spend time managing them maybe outside of the business if they're not performing. And no doubt they'll be taking time off for holidays, etc. And you pay for that. You could also go for a cheaper agency that charges less per month. However, you do pay more in the long run because they're not necessarily going to be using specialized landing pages. They won't know which campaigns and keywords to choose, and they won't be able to get the return on advertising spend. So it could be costing you more to get a lead, and you won't necessarily get as many. Or you could work with us and we hit the ground running. And we work with you. So if you want to pause your campaigns, you can. There's no contract. We just ask for a few days' notice. So this is what you get when we manage your Google Ad campaigns for you, as well as setting up the ads, the tracking and the reporting. We also write your ads and we set you up with your own high converting landing page. And once they're up and running, we monitor these campaigns and we make recommendations to keep them optimized. So all you need to do to find out if Google Ads could work for you and your business is book a call with one of our team. Having the call with us doesn't commit you to anything. You can talk about your goals, talk about your objectives, and you can decide not to do anything at all. And it won't be a sales call. It'll just be a chat to look at whether running Google Ads would be good for your business and whether we could work with you. So if so, again, like I said, we would look at goal setting. So what you want to achieve for from your campaign, what procedures do you want to be promoting first? Who are your competitors? We'll do a campaign analysis. So we'll look at your budget, how many people are searching for you, how many leads you might get, and what is your potential return on investment. And also timeline. So what information might we need from you and what are the next stages? So all you need to do is book an appointment with the link below this video. There are a few pre-qualifying questions, so just to let you know, just to make sure that you're suitable. Just assuming that you pass those, we'll then have the call. So please feel free, go ahead and book your appointment now. Again, the link is just below this video. So as of right now, I see it that you've got two options. You can either go through door number one. So door number one, you can try and do this on your own without a proven system. You can procrastinate and tell yourself that you'll do it later. I'm not ready for this right now. I'm going to do it later. You can lose money on wasted clicks trying to figure it out or using companies that don't know what they're doing. You might be hoping and praying that something changes for you and giving into the fear rather than taking a chance and giving it a go. Or you can go through door number two, where you get a proven system to getting you more high value patients. You will be eliminating the guesswork. You will be giving yourself every possible advantage to succeed. You'll be choosing faith instead of fear. And also you'll be leaving it to the experts who know what they're doing, leaving you to focus on what you do best. You need to take action today and you do need to book your call. And if you do have the call with us and decide, yes, you do want to go ahead, like I said, there's no minimum term. You can cancel at any time, or you can even pause the ads and restart them again. So if you are thinking about advertising with Google Ads and you would like to speak to a Google Ads expert that specializes in running dental and aesthetic campaigns, it's certainly worth having a call with our team. So go to the link just below this video and please book yourself in. So thanks for watching this training. Thanks for taking this time. I hope it's been useful for you, and I look forward to speaking with some of you soon.